All right, pressure's on. Great.
You can't.
What?
Uh-oh, if you can't measure it.
Okay, so you can try. I mean, me and Rohit were talking about this earlier. Running charity is a lot harder than running a business because in business you've got very obvious feedback. You can see your profits go up or down. When you're trying to achieve social impact, you will basically never know for sure because, I mean...
You can't quantify impact?
Well, I think you can, but...
Search for the number of people who are searching for you.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Google Trends for effective altruism, you know, it's like...
There are lots of metrics that are easily available.
But if you are trying to improve, like, global well-being...
Right, you may not know how many people are donating as a result of you, but you do know, how much traffic your website is getting and how many people are talking about you, and that's a
so
reasonable
you can
proxy.
do things like that. So for the Life You Can Save, which is the group I'm working with, I think probably the closest we're going to get is working with charities that we're recommending and tracking how like any marketing efforts we do is going to affect donations to those charities. And you can do like A/B testing of different strategies as well to see. So for example, one thing we're thinking of doing is like handing out leaflets in a city, and one set of leaflets has a certain code on it, and the other set of leaflets is slightly different and has a different code on it, and we ask those people when they sign up to the website to enter that code. They might not do that, but maybe some of them will. And then when Peter Singer gave a TED talk recently, we looked at how that influenced donations to the charity he was talking about, and it went up. And views on these 4 websites went up as well. And you can ask people where they heard about your organisation or the charities we're recommending, and they can tell you, and you can see which ones are having an impact. So there are lots of different things, but it's very hard, and we're trying our best.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all you can do, certainly. Trying our best. But how do you, or why are you personally interested in effective altruism?
Why wouldn't you be? Well, actually, Peter Singer's got this great little line that he used in the TED Talk. He's saying...
Wait, that's not you.
Sorry, no, but it encapsulates why I like
okay.
it. He says that effective altruism combines both the heart and the head. So I, like many people, have wrestled with that question for a while, and I love it because of that. I mean, I suppose like in my early teens, I didn't really think there was such a thing as right or wrong or anything that was really good. And then I started studying philosophy, and I thought that there was, basically, after doing some philosophical thinking. And this kind of really like strategic approach to doing good just seemed to make sense to me. Like, if you do actually care about people, why not try and help them as much as possible? Like, I think if you are overly concerned about rules of morality, like, give to charity and don't steal, it's just too simplistic, and they're rules of thumb, that's what they are. And as the world changes, our ethics needs to change as well, and so we live in a world today where there are very poor people and very rich people, and we know lots about the world because there's the internet and things like that. And it's this unprecedented opportunity to do a lot of good, and we haven't got used to that yet. And so we need new tools to find out how to do that.
Awesome. Do you have examples of high impact things where you can like teach them how to fish?
Also, like whenever you want to be done, like you've been talking for like an hour and a half.
Oh, yes.
Maybe. I don't know. I just arrived, so.
Wait, what do you mean exactly?
Examples of high leverage situations where you can teach people to live more sustainably, or to teach people how to create their own effective altruism, like groups or something. So a lot of people, I think, aren't interested because they don't see themselves coming from an area of abundance. And if you have any question of whether or not you're going to have abundance throughout the rest of your life, you are less willing to consider being an effective altruist because you may not have enough in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So we're probably here because we're probably really comfortable with our lives, and now we can actually take the time to look and help others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's 2 ways to think about that. One is like, maybe 3 ways. Okay, so one is just pushing the message that other people matter, you should care about them. So Peter Singer talks about this little story of, let's say you're on your way to work and you pass a child drowning in a pond. it's a very shallow pond, so you're not going to drown by helping this child, but you'll ruin your expensive suit. Obviously, you jump in and save the child. But there are like analogous situations with giving money to charity. You could donate the cost of an expensive suit to a charity that will save a child's life, and we don't do that. So you do have this obligation. So you can push that message. And then there's also this idea of like community and cultural change. So if everyone else is doing it, you do it. If everyone else is giving 10% of their income to charity, it's just a normal thing to do. It becomes part of your expenses. And then another thing is just when you're thinking about like savings in particular, like savings for retirement or emergencies or things like that, it's easy to think like, it's easy to live to your means and to think the amount of money I've got is exactly what I need. But if you maybe think of it like, instead of giving away X thousand dollars a year, I'm like, I get a pay cut at work. I'm living on like 90% of what I would get otherwise, or I'm a student and I get 90% of the loan I would otherwise. Like, oh no, you know, you're not going to die. Like, loads of other people are living on that. It's not that big a deal. So I think it's easier to think in terms of like that, like the money was never yours, and you're just living on a slightly lower income than you would otherwise, and loads of people live on that kind of income, like in the developed world, rather than thinking that like, oh, I need that £1,000 because it's going to be very important that I have that for emergencies. Loads of people get like that.
Right. Those are great examples.
Cool.
Is there anything else you want to add as well?
After the last 50 years.
I've got a zillion questions I asked personally directly, so.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Where's
okay.
the bathroom?
Bathroom in the back left.
Is that little